What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be taking a look at Dracula. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at Dracula. Let's see what we've got going on. Taking a look at the package, continuing down Strange Tales. We've got some extra heads, extra hands, a sword, the figure, the Build-A-Figure piece, Blackheart that is, Strange Tales at the top. Flip it to the side, nice image of Dracula there. Flip it to the back, there's your expanded image, there's your wave. That's what you need to complete Blackheart. There's your important information, and there's your blurb. The legendary vampire Vlad Dracula rules over the undead, spreading violence and terror on his quest for power. Heard that. Alright. Marvel's Dracula, Marvel Legends, there's your image again. Let's get him out of the box. Fresh out of the box, and with Halloween right around the corner, the timing on these releases are fantastic. And I know it's all planned, but I like that they did that in the planning. So we've got a good lineup of characters coming in this wave. Some really good ones, some new characters, right? We haven't had a lot of new characters this year. There have been a lot of updates and re-releases so far. So it's really nice to see some new characters in the wave. Dracula, one that we've had in a different form way back in a set, but getting this version of Dracula, totally new to the collection, totally new to Marvel Legends, so right up my alley for what I'm trying to collect. So we've got some good sculpting in there, kind of flat, a little plain in the details for the paint app and everything, but some really nice sculpting detail, some good head sculpts. Of course, we're going to take a closer look. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at this first head sculpt. Very animalistic, very much in line with Dracula. What I would like to see from this, so I am happy with the aesthetic thus far. As I said, it's got some really nice detailing in the sculpting here, but you would love to see some wash on here to really bring that out. And I know some people have already done that, so if you're into that kind of thing and good at doing that kind of thing, it's going to look really nice if you go that route, because it'll definitely bring out those details in the sculpting. Doesn't need to be a lot for the figure itself. The aesthetic is nice. The black and red, they work really well together. And then you get the pops of the silver and gold with the areas there. So, all in all, pretty nice. We've got a good cape design here, really nice tattering throughout. It's got some good curvature in there, and it's keyed in here at the upper chest area, so sits really nicely on the buck. Gives you a little bit of movement to the back as well. You've got that extra ponytail point of articulation, so a little bonus for you there. They did give you some wash in the hair. It doesn't really come through on the camera too well. I guess you can kind of see it in there, but in person, it really does give you that little bit of depth in the white hair. Something that would have looked great on Null, for instance, right? It's a minor detail, but does do some justice. You are on that dumbbell up here. For your alternate head, you get a more stoic look, which is exactly what I'm asking for with my releases, right? An extra set of hands and an alternate head. I like the idea of having that expression and the stoic face. It depends on what you're trying to do in your display, but having the ability to choose one or the other is really the essence of what I like to see in a release, right? I'm not asking for a ton, and they've definitely hit it here, so I like that. Same, you get the wash in the hair, so you do get that on both. This is a good, non-expressive, very stoic, he's contemplating things here, and I like how this head sculpt came out as well. I'm certainly going to go with the more expressive one, but both of these came out really well. For your hands, you do have two open hands, so one that's more open and one that's better for holding the sword. You can see there. So, good options. And, of course, you've got your obligatory fists, right? He does come with his accessory, which is the sword. Pretty nice, you can see here. It's pretty simple, but, I don't know what much more you need to do for a sword, right? It's got the good Metallic look here. You've got the black band around at the bottom there. You've even got some extra detailing done at the bottom of the sword here. So all in all, for what amounts to a basic accessory, it's a pretty good looking sword. For your articulation, as I said, you do get that point in the ponytail there. Head will look down just to about there and up to about there. Again, this type of neck system really limits you on articulation sometimes, but it certainly looks a lot cleaner, right? So for what you're trading in articulation, you're gaining in aesthetic. You do get plenty of rock though, and movement side to side. Arms will go up to about there before the cape really cuts you off, and then back. You can go back much further, again the cape cutting you off there. You do have your upper bicep cut. You are single jointed at the elbow, but you do get this larger ring than usual, which really keeps the aesthetic together, so it doesn't really break up the arm all that much. You can see in there, so not too bad. You do get that point down there at the forearm to give you that movement too, which ties into your elbow there, and then your hinge at the wrist. You do have an upper torso, and that is it. So you do not get anything in the lower abdomen, no waist swivel either. So that, it's really going to limit you as far as the torso, but you do at least get that. You got to think that you'd like to see something at the lower point there. Leg kicks up to there, back to there, and then out to there. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed pinless at the knee. Nothing at the calf there, and then your hinge and swivel at the ankle. For comparison, here he is backed up against Blade, so you can get an idea of how he might mesh up with either of your Blade figures. Definitely takes the height advantage over Blade, as you can see here. For another point of reference, here he is backed up against your Deluxe Black Widow, obviously taking a height advantage here and slightly larger in build, but gives you a good idea of how Dracula will go against some of your female characters. To give you an idea of how Dracula might look against some larger characters, here he is backed up against Strife. You can get a good idea, Strife being on a larger build. Dracula is definitely bigger than some figures, but not quite as big as somebody like Strife, and certainly much smaller than a character like the Hulk, as you can see here. Alright folks, well there you have it. There is your Marvel Legends Dracula from the Strange Tales wave. Blackheart Build-A-Figure. Third of the wave I've received. They're starting to trickle in. I've only received 2 of the Build-A-Figure parts though, so I am certainly looking forward to completing that BAF once I get the rest of the pieces, and then taking a look at that versus the Toy Biz. But as far as Dracula is concerned, he is a nice figure. Pretty neat aesthetically, right? He's got some good detailing in the sculpt. However, he does lack for some articulation. So what he lacks in articulation, maybe he makes up for it with overall aesthetic, but some of those lacking parts of articulation do drive you a little bit nuts. Still looks good though, still like the figure, absolutely glad to add a new character to my display, so I am looking forward to that. I would love to hear your thoughts about this figure, what you feel about it, how you like it, if you don't even care about it. I do think this is something that's a little bit more on the random end that not a lot of people probably are looking to collect. But for guys like me, it's right up my alley, right? It's a new character, and I'm always looking to extend the display for some reason. I don't know why, but here we are. So that's the 2 cents, folks. Hopefully you got something out of it. I do appreciate you checking out the video, staying this long if you have. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.